Picture this, it's a crisp Tuesday morning in suburban Ohio. The kind where the lawns are so perfectly edged they look photoshopped. And the only thing louder than the sprinklers is the HOA president's email alert dinging on your phone. But this ding? It wasn't just another fine for your trash cans being out too early. This one was about to turn a quiet cul-de-sac into a full-blown war zone, and the casualty? A hospital full of patients fighting for their lives. Alex Thompson had been through this rodeo before. 3 years ago. When he first rolled his converted news van into the driveway of 1427, Maple Grove Lane. The Holly Springs Homeowners Association didn't just send a polite note. They sent a petition. Eyesore, they called it. Mobile meth lab, whispered at the block party. That guy's probably spying on us with all those antennas, Karen Hargrove had hissed to the neighborhood Facebook group. Complete with blurry screenshots of his command center that somehow made his perfectly legal DOT-registered beast look like a villain's lair from a bad spy movie. Alex? He just smiled. Nodded. And kept his mouth shut. Because he knew something they didn't. He wasn't some conspiracy nut with a tinfoil hat. He was the guy who'd spent 15 years as a network engineer for the Department of Defense before cashing out to build his dream, a rolling fortress of connectivity. Bessie, that's what he called the 35-foot X-News van, had enough satellite uplink to stream the Super Bowl to a small country. Solar panels that could power a block party. And servers humming with enough juice to run a small data center. She was his baby. His insurance policy against the apocalypse. And right now, she was about to become the HOA's worst nightmare. It started with the gnomes. Of course it did. Karen's weekly email blast hit inboxes like a glitter bomb of petty tyranny. Subject, urgent, gnome harmonization protocol activated. Dear valued neighbors. In our ongoing commitment to preserving the serene aesthetic of Holly Springs, the HOA board has voted to limit all lawn ornaments to a maximum height of 12 inches, hat included. This measure ensures visual harmony and protects property values. Non-compliant items must be removed within 48 hours. Thank you for your cooperation in maintaining our community's standards. Karen Hargrove. President. Alex read it twice. Sipping his coffee black as his soul. His prize gnome, General Sherman. A 19-inch bearded warrior with a musket and a glare that could curdle milk, had been a gift from his late grandfather. It stood proudly by the mailbox like a tiny sentinel. 12 inches? Karen might as well have demanded he neuter his own dog. But Alex didn't fire back. Not yet. He just screenshotted it. Added it to the growing folder labeled Karen's Greatest Hits, and went back to debugging his latest home automation script. The Real spark came an hour later. Alex's Wi-Fi died mid-download. Not a flicker. Not a weak signal warning. A full, soul-crushing blackout. His phone showed 0 bars. The router light was deader than disco. He tapped it. Rebooted it. Cursed at it in 3 languages. Nothing. Then he noticed the silence outside, too quiet even for suburbia. No humming from the neighbor's smart fridge. No distant chatter from the hospital's PA system 2 blocks over. His stomach dropped. He grabbed his binoculars, the good ones. The ones with the thermal overlay, and peered through the blinds. There she was. Karen Hargrove. In her signature khaki capris and a visor that screamed "I summer in the Hamptons but vacation in my own ego," standing at the green utility box on the edge of her perfectly manicured lawn. The one that housed the main fiber trunk for the entire grid. She was patting down a fresh mound of dirt with a full-sized shovel. Humming like she just won the lottery. Alex's blood turned to ice. Then lava. He was out the door in socks. General Sherman watching from the porch like he knew what was coming. Alex crossed the property line without a second thought. The "No trespassing" sign crunching under his heel. Karen. She spun. Shovel raised like a lightsaber. Her face, perpetually pinched into that expression of mild constipation, twisted into full-on smug. Alex. Lower your voice. The lilacs are sensitive. What the hell did you do? He jabbed a finger at the disturbed earth. The orange conduit peeking out like a severed artery. I was simply beautifying my easement, she said. Brushing imaginary dirt from her gloves. Those ugly cables were choking my award-winning hydrangeas. The blog said electromagnetic fields cause floral stress. I fixed it. Fixed it? Alex's voice cracked with the effort of not laughing or screaming. Karen. That's the main fiber line. It feeds St. Mary's Hospital. The one with the NICU. The cancer ward. The ventilators. You just shoveled through it? She waved a hand. Utterly unbothered. Hospitals have backups. And frankly, if their planning department cared about community aesthetics, they wouldn't have routed their mess right through my prize flower bed. Property values. Alex. Think of the children. The children. The line she always trotted out. The one that had justified her crusade against his van. His gnome. His very existence. Alex felt that familiar calm settle over him, the one that came right before he dismantled someone with facts and a satellite dish. You have no idea what you've done, he said softly. Then he turned and sprinted back to his driveway. Bessie sat there like a sleeping dragon. Her matte black paint gleaming under the morning sun. Alex slapped the remote. Pneumatic locks hissed open. He vaulted inside. The familiar scent of ozone and energy drinks hitting him like a hug. Time to wake up. Girl. Switches flipped. The generator roared to life with a bass rumble that shook the azaleas across the street. Stabilizers dropped. The massive 2.4-meter dish on the roof unfolded like a mechanical flower, locking onto the satellite 22,000 miles up. Monitors bloomed across the console. Network maps. Signal analyzers. A direct line to the hospital's IT emergency channel. First call, St. Mary's. This is Alex Thompson. 2 blocks from your campus. Your fiber trunk's been severed at the source. I'm spinning up a Ku-band uplink. Give me your rooftop LOS coordinates. The tech on the other end sounded like he'd been mainlining Red Bull. A what? Who is this? A guy with a van that can outrun your downtime. Coordinates. Now. They came. Alex slewed the dish. Signal strength climbed. Green. 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 We're online, the tech hooped. Vitals are syncing. Or schedules are live. Holy shit. Man, how? Just a concerned neighbor, Alex said. Already routing the next call. Outside. The neighborhood was waking up to the show. Mrs. Delgado from across the street was filming on her phone. Mr. Patel was peering over his hedge like a meerkat. And Karen? She was marching down the sidewalk. Phone out. Recording her own righteous fury. Illegal commercial vehicle, she shrieked at the gathering crowd. 17 violations. He's turning this into a junkyard. And now he's blaming me for his sabotage. Alex stepped out of Bessie. Headset still on. Looking every bit the calm professional in his faded NASA tee and cargo shorts. 2 police cruisers pulled up. Lights flashing but no sirens, yet. Officers Ramirez and Kowalski climbed out. Looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. Mr. Thompson? Ramirez said. Eyeing the van like it might sprout tentacles. Dispatch said something about a utility incident? Incident is putting it mildly, Alex replied, pointing to the hole. Mrs. Hargrove here decided to perform amateur surgery on critical infrastructure. The hospital's been dark for 40 minutes. I patched them through my setup. Karen exploded. Lies. I was gardening. He's the one with the monstrosity. Look at it, it's bigger than my house. Kowalski walked over to the trench. He crouched, prodded the jagged fiber ends with a pen. Looked at the shovel. Looked at Karen. Ma'am. Did you dig here? It was encroaching on my. Answer the question. Her face went from righteous to radioactive. I have rights. My hydrangeas. Rights don't include felony vandalism of hospital comms, Ramirez said. Cuffs coming out. You're coming with us. The meltdown was poetry. Karen flailed like a wet cat as they guided her toward the cruiser. My lawyer. The mayor. This is persecution. My flowers are nationally ranked. The neighbors didn't applaud, they cheered. Mrs. Delgado hooped. Mr. Patel raised his coffee mug in salute. Even the yappy dog from down the block seemed to bark in approval. But Alex wasn't done. He ducked back into Bessie and fired up the group chat he'd secretly maintained for months, the one with every contractor in a 50-mile radius who'd ever badmouth Karen's aesthetic standards. Need a fiber fusion splice. Hospital trunk. HOA Karen with a shovel. Double time plus hazard pay. The replies flooded in. On my way. Bringing the good cleaver. This one's on the house. Bitch, find me $400 for my Christmas lights last year. 2 hours later. The cavalry arrived in the form of Gus and Earl from Lightning Splice and Sons. Gus looked like a refrigerator with tattoos. Earl moved like he'd been caffeinated by the gods. They took one look at the damage. One look at Bessie. And grinned like kids on Christmas. Shovel Karen? Gus asked. Already unloading his fusion splicer. Shovel Karen, Alex confirmed. They worked under Bessie's floodlights, 50,000 lumens turning the cul-de-sac into a daytime stadium. Neighbors brought lawn chairs. Someone fired up a grill. By dusk, the splice was done. Alex keyed the mic. St. Mary's. Switching back to primary in 3, 2, 1. The monitors flickered. Red. Amber. Then a beautiful, rock-solid green. We're golden, the hospital tech yelled. You saved us. Man. The board's sending you a plaque the size of a Buick. Karen made bail the next morning. She returned to a for sale sign in her yard and a stack of lawsuits thicker than her HOA rulebook. The hospital sued for downtime damages. The ISP sued for repair costs. The neighborhood association, terrified of the viral video of her being hauled away, voted her out in an emergency Zoom meeting that lasted 11 glorious minutes. Alex? He became a legend. People waved when Bessie rumbled past. Kids asked for tours. Even General Sherman got a promotion, now he stood guard with a tiny American flag duct taped to his musket. But the best part? A week later. Alex's seismic sensor pinged at 2 a.m. Unauthorized digging. Right at the splice site. He smiled. Grabbed the PA mic. And let his voice boom across the sleeping street like the voice of God. Mr. Patel. Step away from the fiber. I see you. The post hole digger hit the grass. Footsteps retreated into the night. Alex leaned back in his captain's chair, scratching his cat Schrödinger behind the ears. Eternal vigilance, he murmured. That's the price of not living in a Karen dystopia. And somewhere in the distance, a hospital monitor beeped steadily on. So tell me, Folks, was Karen just a harmless garden guardian protecting her precious petals? Or was Alex the real neighborhood menace with his eyesore van and his refusal to bow to the beige overlords? Drop your verdict in the comments. Who's the villain here? And what's the dumbest HOA rule that's ever ruined your day? Hit like if you'd park Bessie in your driveway tomorrow. Subscribe for more stories where the little guy fights back with satellites. See you in the next one. Stay connected.